Vanakkam நேயர்களே, welcome back to another episode on Vada Poche Tamil Podcast. We are now available on most streaming platforms, which is Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or எந்த பாட்காஸ்ட் பிளாட்ஃபார்மில் நீங்கள் கேட்குறதா இருந்தாலும் நீங்கள் அதை கேட்டுக்கலாம்.
நம்மள சோஷியல் மீடியாவில் நீங்கள் ஃபைண்ட் பண்ணலாம் at வடபோச்சை தமிழ் பாட்காஸ்ட், இன்ஸ்டாகிராம் அண்ட் டிக்டாக். Leave us a comment, message அனுப்புங்க. ஏதாவது ஃபீட்பேக் இருந்தாலும் சொல்லுங்கள். We'll definitely reply to you guys. So please reach out to us and let's have a conversation going. Enjoy the show.
My son cut himself with something. So I was just playing with him and then he said, Daddy, look, red dot. So the blood was coming, red dot. Then I saw like blood was like flowing out. Then I said, no, what do you do? Then I do. I do go and do first aid.
Was that today?
Huh?
Was that today?
No, 2 days ago.
What did he do?
He cut on something. I thought you were recording already.
Yeah, we are. But waiting for this thing.
So how do you start?
We just started.
We just started.
We started conversation. So yeah. So,
Hey, welcome everyone.
we do this clapping thing. I've said it to some guests before. It's not for motivation. It's not to cheer ourselves on.
Okay, it's
You
for
know, in
the
the movies
audio.
they have that.
Clapper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have the budget for that.
We only have this. But there was one time there was one guest, then he was doing this like 3 times.
Oh,
Because he said
just for fun.
He did this, then we said something, then he needed to start again, then he said something, then he needed to start again. So he was like
I was giving myself motivation.
welcome to the show.
Yeah. Hey,
I
what's up, guys?
Hello. Hi.
So you asked us how we start the episode.
Yeah.
It's usually mid conversation.
so there's no like we'll just start.
No.
Okay, cool.
I mean, we there, you know, podcast has various ways of starting, right? Like you go straight into the topic and all that stuff. I believe like just start with a normal conversation. Just pick it up from there, and then we go. That's how I think it should be.
Fantastic.
You're welcome.
See, you got sweaty palms. I see some handprint on the table.
Leaving my mark.
So butter.
So this is how it is always.
Yeah, always. Always. It usually takes a while for me to warm up, so I let them warm up first. Then
Get it out of the system and then we start.
Hey, speaking of dying, you know, this morning, right? I was going to work, right?
Oh, uncle lah.
Yeah, I was pissed off.
Why are you pissed off?
Okay, so what happened? I have a preschool opposite my house, and the kids were walking, and this preschool teacher was like, "Oh, say good morning to uncle." I'm like, "Who, me? Me? How dare you?"
How old are you now?
30.
Yeah, it's about right.
yeah,
it's
bro.
about right.
After 20 years of age, right? Everyone becomes
Yeah,
uncle.
it's about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so affected by it. It's like,
Seriously affected ah?
no lah, actually.
Okay, then what's the kid supposed to call you brother?
You call me bro.
Your head lah, bro.
Preschool
Come on,
kid.
man.
Just call me bro.
Preschool.
All
I
same.
don't think you're bro anymore.
Yeah, no.
I understand you
agree.
identify with the mental capacity.
Same mental capacity.
Yes, I identify as a preschool kid. But anyways, yeah, that was a rude awakening. If I must.
I also that time I got called uncle. No, you imagine this. At least you got called by preschool.
Yeah.
I got called uncle by a person in the mid-20s. I look at her, right? I just thank you. Just
Recently or what?
last year.
Are you all above 30?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm 35 this year.
35?
Yeah.
You?
35 ah? Oh yeah, I'm
Mid-30s.
Fuck your
33.
33. Okay, 31. Yeah, sounds about right. It's like
Yeah,
the 30
30s, yeah.
mark. Yeah.
And then got more white hair this year. Like,
You know that I have one sticking out now.
I saw him at work there. I saw the white hair sticking out there. Because he was laughing at me for so long, right? Like, oh, you got white hair. Because my beard has a lot of white hair. Then he's like, oh, white hair. Then I was in the 30s 2 years before you.
Yeah,
Right? Then
yeah.
he was 30 also, grandpa. Then okay, now I see white hair. Then him suffering.
Nah,
then calling
I was like,
uncle.
I'm looking for your
Oh,
white hair as well.
You don't have, man?
Have here,
Oh,
here,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper.
Salt
Look,
and
eh?
pepper.
Yeah,
Salt
it
and
happens. I
pepper.
know
Yeah,
it's full streak as well.
No, but it's nice. Salt and pepper. You do you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Now that's a good segment.
You, man.
Bring it to you do you.
Yeah.
How was that baby born?
Okay, I don't know how to start.
Oh, so that was how it was.
Yeah, basically, honestly, I think because growing up in Singapore, I just felt like I was kind of put in a box of like who I'm supposed to be or what I'm supposed to do. There are a lot of like certain milestones that you're supposed to hit by the time you're 30. We've been talking about it, like have babies, get married, BTO, renovation, blah, blah, blah. Actually, when all my friends turned 30, it was a year of just talking about the same shit over and over again, which was, when is your baby? Or when are you, how's your renovations going? When are you getting married? When is your promotion? Like, it's always like, what is the next
Have
thing?
you booked your
Yep.
BTO?
Yeah, the same shit over and over. And it was just so boring. I found the conversation so boring. And I just felt like we were just constantly like trying to tick a box. We're kind of like every time we meet each other, like, oh, what box have you ticked today?
Exactly.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
So it's like a
really,
milestone meetup.
yeah, exactly. Where are you? Where are you in life right now? Are you successful yet? Not yet? Okay, you'll get there sometime. And it's always like this perception of success. So I just wanted to create some space where people can have a different conversation, where it's not always the same shit over and over again. And,
idea.
you can do you in your own terms. And actually, like, I don't feel like Singaporeans actually feel like they can do them, if that makes sense. I feel like they need, or they've grown up in this society where you feel like you have to fulfill this in order to be successful.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that they feel like they can be successful in their own ways, and it doesn't need to meet this stereotypical way of living,
Right.
which doesn't always result in happiness as well. So yeah, that's why.
What sort of like inspired you to do this? Like you do you? Because like Singaporean, there is a mold. We live by a mold, and there's a system and all that. But something must have triggered you to think like, no, this is not how I want to be. Was there like that?
I mean, like my whole life, I just hated being told what to do. Like genuinely, I hate it. My parents, teachers either hated me or loved me because Singaporean society, like I can't follow whatever it is, and so that was always like in me, like that personality trait of don't tell me what to do, I will figure it out. But how it started is just like, I think the 30 age where everyone's talking about the same thing, that was a real trigger. But also I was just like, we gotta snap out of this. Like I just feel like we gotta let's do something else, just shake it up a little bit. And I always felt like I was put in a box because I studied geography in school. So everyone told me that I have to be a teacher. I hate kids. No offense. I know you guys have kids.
No. After today, no.
No.
You must have been very anxious when you meet up your friends.
Yeah, the
because
kid
of
conversation really pisses me off, honestly. But yeah, it was like, oh, you have to be a teacher. But I'm like, why? Just because I learned something in school doesn't mean I have to be a certain way. And yeah, I think that's like, it was just always in me. But then I felt like being in sustainability for so long, I just needed something else to fulfill me. And yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you're having this facing these conversations and all that, was there a particular moment or anything? Like when I was thinking about this, like we can talk about this when we do the next episode, but just a teaser, right? So when we were doing this podcast, like me and him and I, we ideated starting a podcast like way back already. But I had a specific moment when I was traveling to work and I saw everybody in the train at like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Everybody was just like half awake, wet hair for the girls, and they were just like trying to like dry it up and use the phone. The guys were just watching football highlights or something on their phone. Everybody just looking down, zero noise, everybody just going to work. And I looked at that and I wasn't using my phone. Just so happened that day my headphones died. So I was like just looking at
That sucks when it happens.
I know, it sucks. Then I was just looking at everyone and I was like, what the hell is happening here? It's like a Fight Club. Do you watch Fight Club?
No.
Oh no, you
Sorry.
should watch Fight Club. You should watch Fight Club.
Okay.
It's about breaking the system. So when I looked at it, I had a very big like Tyler Durden moment, if you'll get it when you watch the movie. Then I was like, no, there's something more that we're supposed to do here. Then that was a particular moment that seed was planted for me. Was there such a moment for you? It doesn't have to give birth to you, do you?
Yeah,
but was
yeah.
there a moment where a seed was planted?
I wouldn't say a moment. It was like a series of moments, very similar to what you were saying, like the same thing where everyone is having these conversations and I was tuning out. Like I was like kind of disassociating with the entire conversation because it was just not interesting me at all.
Right.
That was part of it. There was a few series, and then I think also like going to therapy, like genuinely, I think I started that, and I just realized that there's a whole lot of things inside of me that I could heal, and therefore realized that I have some sort of freedom to my own identity, and I have some sort of freedom to choose what I want to do with my life, which I didn't really felt like I could do that when I was young because I got married quite young. And that's another story on its own. But anyway, but yeah, I think it was that was the start, and that was the trigger of like, you know, if people just sort of like sat down with themselves and really looked at themselves and understood who they are, like on a deeper level, they can actually be so happy with what they choose and how they choose to live their lives. So I think it was a series of moments. I wouldn't say it was one particular one, but yeah, together.
But when you're speaking of this, like being put in a box and doing something different and all that, how I'm in my opinion, you can disagree. In my opinion, I think that youngsters nowadays are a little bit more embracing about coming out of that box compared to generations before, like mine. And
yeah, absolutely.
Do you agree?
Yeah, for sure. But I think they're also just more self-aware of like their own shit.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like they're so aware and they're so like eloquent in what they're thinking about and how they think about things and how they say things.
Yeah.
Like, I could never express myself as a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old.
I have a theory about that. Why that happens?
Why?
You open the news and then just see HDB sells for 1.5 million, 2 million. So now don't know how many millions. So when you look at that, right, you will feel a sense of hopelessness. Being you as a teenager, you have so much to cover to hit that kind of, you know, milestone. And then I think it forces you to open your perspective and say, hey, no, there must be more to life than wild HDB prices.
Forget about being hopeless as a teenager. You're hopeless even as a 30-year-old. You are even hopeless when you read that kind of news.
No, for us, I think it's because we're already in the part where we're buying such expensive things. I think that for youngsters nowadays, because of the internet and globalization, they realize how much opportunities that they have.
Yeah.
Like, and our generation, I believe, kickstarted a few things for the following generations, because we were the ones that grew up without social media, and our generation did start, like Zuckerberg or whatever, they started Facebook, etc. And that took on a life of its own, YouTube, all that. So it presented a whole plethora of opportunities for people even in Singapore. You're not bound to the whole mold of going to the national broadcast and then, not to name anyone, with the national broadcast and just going there and then just plateauing after that, right? Now you can do something on a global scale from your own house. And previously, opportunities like that weren't available in the States because of Hollywood, TV, etc. So now I think the youngsters are aware and they are being educated and they're actually consuming content about how the internet can make them have so many different options per se.
Yeah.
And it's also like breaking stereotypes, right? Because like imagine like as an Indian, as an example, you go and tell that, you know, I want to start a YouTube channel, I want to start a podcast and all that.
Yes.
Right now, you have examples you can actually show like, hey, this person actually made it.
You have Mr. Beast, you have iShow Speed, you have like...
You can make money, you can actually be a full-timer in this kind of stuff. And there's opportunities that we have because of internet now and social media actually.
Yeah.
In your opinion, right, what do you feel puts Singaporeans in that box?
I'll speak from my own experience rather than like just generalizing, because I cannot speak for everybody, but I feel like for me, when I like was growing up, they wanted to shape me into a certain person. And like a certain way of not just we did say that about the milestones and stuff, but just like my personality itself just didn't fit. Like I was opinionated,
contrarian,
like very passionate, very like fiery, and like if I'm upset, I'm upset. You know, like, and if I'm emotional, like, you know, it's too much. Like you cannot get emotional, especially that as a woman, it's like really tough. Whatever. And all of these things that you just start being suppressed, and then suddenly, then you just like, you know, they just tell you have to do this, you have to do that. And then it's more like, if you don't do this, then we are disappointed in you. And that's I think for everybody situation.
Wait, who's the we?
Parents, society. Also, I think generally your peers as well judge you, because like when I first started my career, I went to non-profits like immediately, because I straight off the bat knew I wanted to be in sustainability. But I didn't know exactly what. And also I had no, like you were saying, you have stories of success. I had no stories of success. I didn't understand. Nobody knew what sustainability was 10, 11 years ago,
It's a
now
new thing,
they know.
yeah. New buzzword. Yeah.
But now we built that momentum, but back then nobody had a clue. So I had no I thought sustainability was you go to a forest and you plant a tree, and I like that, I was like, I'm so down to go to a forest and plant a tree, and I thought that was saving the world, but that wasn't it. Like, I had no clue. So I was really just trying to figure it out. So I go to a non-profit, I go to some people, I speak to them, I just understand like what they're doing.
Right.
And then I figure it out on the way. Like, I still had no clue. I still don't really know, to be honest. But back then I had no, I guess, example of what exactly that would look like, and so everyone just was like, you're a bit like, why don't you just go to a normal corporate job, like even not even just my parents, obviously them, yes, but also my friends, like, why are you suffering? Like, there is like, why are you suffering? But I'm like, I'm not suffering. Yes, I earn much less than you, but I'm working twice as hard, but at the end of the day, I'm really happy with what I choose to do. But I think it's just the constant, like, back to your question, like the constant like negativity of like, why are you choosing this, why are you doing this? And then people don't, I would say a lot of people in Singapore, a lot of Asians, they don't have the ability to kind of like stand up for themselves, or just take lives into their own hands, because it's a very like, you have to please your parents' society. So you have to please this, and you have to show you're doing something with your life. And there's also this thing which I really hate, which is like, payback for your parents bringing you up for some reason, and then you have to like, oh, you are now like so successful because they have put me to school, or they've put me here, or whatever. So, and success in their eyes, which is money. Yeah. So I don't know if I even answered your question. I just went kind of on rant.
No, I actually no. In a way, yes, but it also resonated with me, especially that last part. So I had this qualm with some of my relatives before, right? When they were asking, there are some people I know who are older and have yet to get married. Like, the girls going to be in their 40s, and the first question they ask is, when are you getting married? And they'll compare. Okay, I'm married. I have a son, so they'll compare an elder person with me, and I like that elder person, and they'll compare the elder person with me. Oh, look at him, he's married, have a kid, and I'm standing there like, why am I the basis of comparison? My lifestyle choices are not supposed to be reflective of whatever decision they make. So, but they'll compare. Then they'll ask, why are you doing this? Why are you not doing this? Then I looked at them and asked. I was in a bad mood that day. Have you ever once asked him if he's happy? Then they just like, no.
And then they ignore you.
Such a basic thing. How's your work? How's your kid? How's your wife? Hey, do you do this, do that? Not once will you get asked, are you happy?
You know why? Because somebody else was asked, hey, why your son not married? Hey, why your brother not?
Yeah, it's a cycle.
It goes back to that milestone meeting.
It's always, if you're married, then when's your kid? Then when you have a first kid, when's your next kid?
After Are you getting the second kid question already?
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I already got it.
Oh, you have two kids, sorry.
No, one kid. One kid. I already got the question.
And my son is just 4 months old. I already got the question. But within the first month, you should have your kid now. It's easier
your
for the
poor
wife. No, apparently it's easier for the girl if she gives birth in quick succession, because the body still has every... Then like, no. No.
Strangely, these kind of questions don't affect me that much. Because I've like, don't know whether I learned it or from young itself, I've learned to like just, 1 year in.
It doesn't affect me.
I just like...
It doesn't affect me when they ask about me. But I don't like it when they use me as a basis for someone else. I hate that. It's like, if you look at someone else, look at him, he has a kid, and I'm like,
it's the comparing.
I hate it. And it happens in Indian houses a lot. So I grew up with a sister. We had this conversation a bit, right? So we can go there now. I grew up with a sister, right? So my sister is much more welcome in the kitchen than I am. And I wanted to be in the kitchen, because I wanted to do I'm into bodybuilding and like gymming and all that. So I wanted to just make the simplest of things. Freaking marinated chicken breast, sweet potatoes, a bit of rice, a bit of pasta. That's it. I won't mess up the kitchen. There's nothing much to do. And my mom said, no, you don't belong in the kitchen. You get out. Then I'm like, just let me... Then I had to fight, and then eventually I did it. So my negotiation was that I could only get in the kitchen after she's done with cooking, so that she doesn't see me in the kitchen. So I had to cook at like 8 p.m. and then freeze my food for the next 4 or 5 days of work.
Similar lah. I think when I got married, it was how are you looking after your husband? situation, that question, which was super annoying. Like, nobody asked me about my work, how's my life. You know, I'm quite successful, I think, you know, in my job, but nobody gives a shit, you know, nobody cares. Have you made him dinner? That's the question. Or like, I travel quite a lot for my work. So it's if I travel for more than a week, and at most times it is more than a week, they'll be like, what's he gonna do? I'm like, I didn't marry a 5-year-old. What do you mean? What's he gonna do? He's just gonna be like, I don't understand this question.
He can survive.
Yeah, he's fine. And for him, like, he's totally fine. He's totally fine. But it's just the questions. It's like, have you cooked? Have you cleaned? Like, when I first got married, the first 2 years was cooking. The question was cooking and cleaning, and I'm not a good cleaner. Cook, yes, I can cook, but cleaning, I suck. So every time my mom comes over, my house is kind of messy. So she'll, you know, it's the judgmental stare. She won't say, but she will stare.
I don't look.
Yeah, she'll look, and then she'll go to the bathroom. She'll get the vacuum cleaner. She'll start cleaning. It's such a passive aggressive way of saying you don't know how to keep your house. But it was these sorts of things. And when I do cook, and I do cook for him, and I send pictures in the WhatsApp group chat, then they're like, oh, wow, what a great job. So proud of you, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it was like the first 2 years was a big struggle for me, actually, like being married. Like, it was like, is this my life? Like, as a wife, that's my identity? But then I decided, like, I'm not going to make it my identity. I'm going to make sure that this is not who I am. My identity is not a wife. So actually, a lot of times when I introduce myself, I never say I have a husband. I do. He's there in the background, but it's not my entire life. And I don't want to make it my entire life. And that's very important for me.
Completely understand. I think the most apt, there's a saying that contradicts this, is like, you know, the thing, there are some couples who view themselves as halves. Like, you are my other half. I completely disagree.
100%, I disagree with that too.
I feel like I am one. You are one.
I'm whole as my own.
And I preach this to my wife a lot, so that if you go away, I'm supposed to be fine. Because we never know what might happen, you know, right? So if you go away, I'm supposed to be fine. If I go away, you're supposed to be fine. If at any point you feel like you're too reliant on me, if my absence causes you distress, then something's wrong. Figure your shit out.
I agree. I 100% agree. I think it's braver to actually be whole on your own. And it takes a lot of actually like soul searching to actually figure that out. Because otherwise you're always dependent on somebody to make you happy. And it shouldn't be that way. Like, you shouldn't be dependent on this one person to make you happy.
Are you talking about the emotional part here?
Emotional?
Oh yeah, we can talk about emotions now.
No. We're talking about like identity.
Ah, okay.
Like,
I got lost in the conversation.
Your identity in a relationship.
Like, do you identify as like just a married guy, or like?
Oh, yes, I'm just me.
Exactly.
I'm married. That's one.
That's one part.
Part of me. That's one major aspect of my life, but not my whole life.
With regards to bandwidth.
I cannot relate at all.
So he's not married.
I'm single. I'm not married. I'm living my life to the fullest.
So do you get the married question then?
No, they
not
get a full-fledged scolding from me.
Okay.
So I'm the fiery type as well. So it's they'll ask. One time somebody asked me, why aren't you getting married? And then I was like, oh, why aren't you passing away?
Yeah, sounds about right.
So ever since then, some stop asking.
I don't react aggressively, because I can, from a certain point of view, I can empathize that the close ones especially, they care for you, but the environment that they grew up in is so one-dimensional. Especially the Gen Xers and the baby boomers. Very one-dimensional upbringing. So all they know is you
what
study.
Their parents told them.
What their parents told them. You study, get a good job, have kids, and they want the best for you. But in their like very like
this is the best for you.
I mean, because
I don't get really angry at them. I understand what the way they come.
There's no socials and all that, but that's with the close ones.
Yeah.
See, the one that pisses me off and the one I ask the question.
People who are totally unrelated.
Some on the career I never even knew I actually existed as a relative. So obviously.
Exactly.
But
So your mother tongue is?
Okay, my mother tongue is English, because my Hindi is terrible. I failed my A-levels like 3 times. They threatened not to like let me graduate from NUS if I didn't pass my A-levels Hindi.
Wow.
And I had to take it like 3 times because I kept failing. So don't ask me to speak. in
No,
Hindi.
no, it's okay.
No, we don't understand.
Really, really
Hindi.
bad. And I can't understand Tamil also.
So that is
It is what it is.
English is you do you. Don't even think about it. No. Leave it.
The only Hindi I know is what Chamak Chalo. What are the songs there?
That's alright. It's fine. It's not a quiz.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hukum is Hukum Hindi?
Hindi and
No, I think
Arabic.
it's Punjabi.
Punjab, Arabic and Hindi.
Whatever.
All mean the same thing.
Rajinikanth, right?
No.
Okay, so Tamil actor Rajinikanth.
Okay.
You might have seen him.
Maybe.
Wait. Whatever he says in Hindi.
Superstar Rajini? No. Still
No.
doesn't ring a bell.
Sorry.
What was the last Tamil movie or Indian
Have
movie
you ever watched it?
No, I watch a lot of Hindi movies because my husband likes Hindi movies. So he
Yeah.
forces
Oh.
me. Yes, he does. No. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, he loves Hindi movies.
This is being recorded, right?
Talabadi Vijay?
No, man. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, all this is recorded, right? Easy, good snippet. Trust me. We say one bad thing about an actor.
Oh, yeah, you know.
Really? Do
there's-
you get backlash?
No, we get. No,
Yeah.
just,
Really?
just check our socials. You get-
Backlash is an understatement.
Really?
Okay, now that we're talking about this topic,
Sorry,
right?
yeah.
Let's.
No, I get it. Now they were talking about the ID club just now. You can
Oh.
just track back. They were talking about this topic, right? They were talking about like kids, etc.
Yeah.
There was one social media video that we put out. It's like 40 seconds long. It was just, I think, the three of us. We were talking about. He asked us about how we felt as fathers, because he's just 2 years in. I'm just
right.
4 months in.
Yeah.
He was saying in like it's a pretty Tamil dominant content in the video. Lah. He was saying that once he looked at us and heard our conversations and realized how stressful it was, how much money and resources he drained from you, he said he doesn't want to have a kid. And his quotes verbatim, I can't say verbatim, but translation. Verbatim translation is that I look at you, right, and I don't want to have a kid. The amount of money, the amount of resources. So when you put that video, I mean, in gist, that's the meaning,
yeah.
lah. The amount of hate that he
Really?
got.
Why?
And
I know, you know the best part?
Prevalent, sorry, I have to say the prevalent comment, right? Is
You're selfish.
No.
Selfish.
No, the prevalent one is imagine your parents had said this, you won't be
Yeah.
here. But that's his parents' decision.
Yeah, but it's not his decision.
Like, no, when they were making me, like, I had to say, okay, no, I'm coming down. Here is where I will arrive, I had the decision making. Bro, I didn't have a choice in this shit.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people think that being selfish is a bad thing. It's not. Why is it a bad thing? It's your life at the end of the day. You have to be happy. So you have to be selfish at some parts,
My
Yeah.
counterpoint to that is very simple. I don't have the money to actually raise my kid.
Yeah.
What you do, commented, you're going to
Yeah.
put money. You're going to. Well, I'm going to raise funds to raise my.
Yeah.
I think having kids is a very, very personal choice.
It is.
And it is something that, you want to. I really cannot stand people who have kids because they just want to check a box.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, then it's just like they're doing it for the sake of doing it. And then after that, they are so unhappy and the child is unhappy and the whole family and the household is
Yeah.
unhappy. And then
It just
people
breaks
are
down
resentful.
from there,
yeah,
man.
and,
Yeah.
and then you've got childhood generational trauma.
Yeah.
And then it all affects everything just
It's a
because,
cyc- it's a cycle.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
cycle that never ends. So you're breaking it,
I think you know what's the best part? I didn't even say I don't want kids at all.
Yeah, you
I mean,
just said,
scared to be a...
Yeah.
scared
Yeah, I
to-
didn't-
no, he just said, look at us, and then
I
he's
look
like,
at y'all and
It's
I
making you
based
scared,
on whatever we
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
he's like, wow.
I mean, tomorrow, if today the Toto strike, I 2 million, maybe I might consider,
Yeah,
That's a
correct.
different conversation.
Yeah.
But
you have the wish, but you're hitting
It's
a
the
major
resources.
block. The resources, you're hitting
Yes.
a major blocking point.
Yeah, I mean, even if
Yeah.
you don't have the wish, the resources are something that you must consider.
You must consider,
Given the
you have to plan,
economy, given the country we live in,
Yeah.
you
So speaking of
must-
resources, do you feel like as men, I'm going to go into that conversation
Yeah.
already, that you feel like extra pressure to provide for your family?
Yes.
Yes.
no, even
Like all three.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Why?
because I'm the oldest brother. I'm the oldest in the generation. Everything comes down to my shoulder.
Yeah.
Even the smallest thing. Satyam, my calendar.
Hey, everything is gonna go on your shoulder now. Continue.
You sit on my shoulder. Also.
Hey, please don't verbalize your deepest desires.
So
shoulders.
shit like this also falls on my shoulders. No, even the smallest thing would, because I'm quite close to my grandmother and I live with her. So the smallest thing also, it becomes like, oh, Bharat, you gotta do this. Oh, Bharat, can you do this? I would do it out of love because you asked me, but I've recently found out that it's actually a lot of things is because I'm just the only guy who can do it. So I have a younger sister, let her do it. And I mean, fortunately enough, she's also like quite fiery and she will question why. It's the thing like Pomple Pula, why I cannot do something like that. Basically, I'm a girl, why can't I do? So fortunately, I have a sister like that. If I have a sister who's opposite, I'm done for. I'm done for, So being single doesn't mean like, or you're carefree or anything like that. We have our fair share of problems.
Yeah, I think also it's prevalent when you say you don't want kids because you don't have the resources, right? And I think that's a very like manly way of looking at it. Because like my husband will say the exact same thing. It's like, we can't have kids because I cannot provide right now. And I'm like, no, I'm not emotionally ready to be a mom. It's very two different like ways of approaching it.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. I think it's just interesting to me. What about you guys when you guys had kids?
For me, I think it's pretty similar to what your husband said, because I had kids. I had my son 3.5 years into my marriage, and that's not very common. It was a choice we didn't want, because I felt like so I did whatever typical thing that we did, but I did it for very, I think you would say, very male reasons. So I have a BTO, so I took the BTO because it's a damn good investment because of the location that I picked. And you don't get that in resale. So I applied for my BTO in 2019, secured it thankfully. So it was just an investment.
Yeah.
So I secured that, and then we didn't even talk about marriage at that time. But we knew we were going to get married lah. So we just got
no
that.
choice.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to sacrifice my CPF. The 5% that I pay.
Shit, the truth is out.
A lot of time my wife and I also, after we signed for
Not the time stamp.
after we signed the thing, then my wife and I, if we ever break up, we technically pay to break up now.
Yeah.
So I mean, okay, then everything worked out lah. Then we got married. Then because we were waiting for a house, so we were staying in my parents' house, her parents' house. We did a rental. It's not a sort of, we were basically living like refugees for the past like 3.5 years, honestly, because I lived off a bag,
right,
for 3.5 years. So and I don't think it's that sort of situation when I have kids, and keep moving around. And I was particularly taking risks. I left a government job to work in startups, and not a lot of Singaporeans would do that.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah. So and I knew that, and the government job was my first job. So when I left it, I knew I was taking a risk, because iron rice bowl, I'm just giving up an iron rice bowl for something where, because I felt like I can learn more if I did something else, and then maybe I can go back to a government job if I wanted. So I was taking risks. So I know that when I'm taking such risks, it's not gonna be easy mentally to have a kid.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't want. But when I felt like things were okay, then I felt like, okay, I can start trying. But I was always emotionally ready. It's more like I just didn't want to have a kid and then, oh shit, what to do now, that sort of thing. So
fair enough.
No, that's a manly thing to do, man. Like this, you never want to be in a position where.
And we don't mean it in a chauvinistic way.
Yes.
It's just
it's a positive thing, man.
We think more like these sort of things rather than emotional, and I feel that that's a strength.
It's a strength. It's not a weakness. It's just a difference in how you guys think and operate, and it's good to know.
And the emotional thing is also a strength for the women's side, because it has to balance out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when I edit, I'll take this part out for you when we do snippet.
Do I don't care.
What a show this is, guy. I'll start with my fake account. Oh, you want to show this?
Oh yeah.
Bloody
I can tell you later. There's another one. I posted. I say something with the most positive of
Is it which one? The
wife.
You tell yours first.
What was the question again, man? I'm just so bad with memory, man.
Are you drunk or something, bro?
No, he's 35. Carry on.
35,
so, how did you approach, or how do you prep when your son was coming, or decide
Mentally.
to have a son?
Mentally is more of like financial planning.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was very emotionally ready to have a kid.
I have a follow-up question, but you go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. Yeah. What was that?
Because you all say you're emotionally ready, right? How are you guys emotionally ready? Because like I'm genuinely curious because I'm so emotionally unready. Like, yeah, how?
I visualize myself with like children and like all calling me daddy and like, you know,
And that's it.
Serious ah?
That's it.
I'm just like simplifying it for
Oh,
like,
but it is a
audiences.
simplified answer. It's a true answer lah.
It's true. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, serious?
Yeah. Yeah. He wants to laugh at something I know.
I don't know what the context is here.
You know, I got slapped in the face
Why?
as a
Oh,
kid
the school one.
Why?
in Tamil class because when the Tamil teacher was asking everyone what do you want to be in life, everyone replied something sensible. I was the only kid who said I want to be a father. And I got a slap.
So you know, Martin Luther King said, "I had a dream."
Wait, who slapped you?
My dear teacher. I mean, it's
That's
old school.
mean. Why?
Old school design.
That's a nice dream though. I feel.
Old school.
You're just a simple guy.
13, 14 years old. Yeah, 13, 14 years old.
I had a dream to be a father.
Not wasn't like a legit slap, just like a knock on the head.
Ah, okay,
So,
okay.
yeah, like, yeah.
For me, there are two reasons. My father was a very good father, so I felt like I had a good. So my father passed when I was young, so but whatever time I had with him, I felt like I had a very good template.
Yeah.
Up until the kid is 14, I had a good template. So I felt like I could learn from him, and also I have a dog who is very high maintenance.
Okay.
So he has like health issues, so he needs like 4 walks a day. And I was very particular with raising him, and I'm the only one in my family who raised a dog. So I raised him from like literally no knowledge, no one to ask help for, no tips anyone to give me. So I researched everything and did it on my own. So when I was raising him, I realized how much I like was particular about his emotional well-being ahead of mine. So that, there are a few owners that, and this is something that I actually really, really was particular about. There's some dogs that when the owners come back, they leap over the owners and then they bark. I didn't want that because that's a sign of, that means when you go away, the dog is quite anxious. They will like whine, they will scratch things, and then they'll be stressed out until you come back lah. So I didn't want that to happen to my dog. So I from the onset, I trained him to be emotionally stable on his own. So when I got him ready, I did a lot. Like if I wanted to sleep at 12 a.m., I needed to train him to sleep by 9 p.m.
Oh wow.
So 9 p.m. I have to start with like 5 seconds, putting him alone, then going away. Then he'll start crying at 5 seconds. Then I go, stay 10 seconds. I have to work up to 5 minutes at 5-second increments. It was horrible, but I had to do it lah. But now I'm happy lah. So now when I step out of the house, he doesn't whine. He just goes and sleeps. So I was very particular about like the emotional well-being of that living thing, and I was willing to put the time in. So I felt like it was and it was something I was shocked at myself for, because it's easy to just, and it's nice when your dog comes back and then leaps on you, and it's like, oh yeah, I bluff, but when I was doing that and I realized I was doing this for my dog already, I was like, okay, then I think my capacity to care is good. And I was very particular with his like health, like the food he's getting, the timings, etc. So I thought, okay, I think ready enough to have a kid. I know it's a very easy, like not exact comparison, but I think the heart was in the right place. Hence, I was confident,
Right.
because I was putting some like another living thing's well-being ahead of my personal interest and whatever gratified me. So I thought that was coupled with my dad's example, and I felt like my capacity to care for my dog was good. So I was confident as a result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot more than normal people would do for their dogs, to be fair.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't want it because he didn't come to me and say buy me. Like, I went and
It's your choice, right? Then it's your choice to have a kid as well. So
and
back
I
to your
didn't
thing.
go and adopt him, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't go and like, he didn't come to my house and then like, hey, pick me. I went to pick him, and I couldn't adopt because they don't allow first timers to adopt easily also. So I was like, so I had to buy lah. Then I was like, okay, I bought him, I'm responsible, I better not fuck him up. Sort of thing, yeah.
Are you okay?
Kindness.
Okay.
I know, actually no, I was listening to this story.
He also kena because of that. Because there was one time he said raising a dog is like raising a baby.
You got backlash for that, yeah.
I got backlash for that.
I don't understand why people can't see the parallels.
So you didn't get any backlash for anything, yeah?
Did I not?
He's not very vocal on controversial stuff. On air.
On air. Yeah.
So we know.
On air.
In short,
Good to know.
in short, they play checkers, I play chess.
Fuck you.
So if we were ever to get shut
We
down,
play chess on air, you play chess off air.
no. Our chess on air, right? We know like okay, it's done once and done. His chess off air, I got too many eyes watching.
That's true. Actually, that's true. That's true.
True.
That's true.
So you do you, right?
Sorry.
True.
No, in that case, you don't do you.
Actually, yeah, then you're not actually like living authentically.
I would say.
No, I mean, I would
I'm
say
just
just
kidding.
no.
No,
I follow his IG and check out his stories live.
No, okay.
Very opinionated, right?
Oh yeah, I'm very opinionated. Yeah, I live authentically. But then there's like
On social media.
on social media, yeah. But on camera, there it's you need to package things a nice way. So
On camera, there are specific topics
things,
that trigger
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
I see.
He's
Which are?
particularly interested in. Actually, it's similar to what we're talking about, like roles of men and women. Very opinionated.
So what's your opinion on
no,
it?
I'm not.
You
I
are
wasn't. I'm not.
I don't
now,
mean a wrong opinion or anything, but you are opinionated. I am.
I used
also
to be.
opinionated.
Yeah, now like whatever lah. I've got things to do,
just
man.
cry,
Just cry, yeah.
So I just wanted to get back to like the you do you thing, right? So let me try to get
Sorry.
back to it.
Yeah. Going all over the place.
No, which is good. I think this is our
good,
style.
yeah.
So I think we're just doing one full episode. So
Yeah, I feel like
scratch-
it's
Yeah,
just
I was about
I
to
think
say
it's
that,
like it's
yeah.
fine.
Let's scratch the
It's
plan.
fine.
Why did you do you as a interview series? What made you do that actually in the first place?
Okay, I felt like I wanted to bring people's stories, Singaporeans specifically, Asians, and what they've been through, like what they've like, I don't know, not accomplished, but just what they've been through, their journeys, their successes, their challenges, whatever. Just share and be more open and vocal and a little bit more vulnerable because I feel like as Singaporeans, we're not vulnerable and we don't like to have these conversations. We don't like to put ourselves out there. We don't like to share. Like even when I first started, I started in July. The first week, I had to post a video on myself. I was dying on the inside. Like I did not want to do it. I had so many excuses in my head. I was like, nah, I can launch with somebody else. Like, but then I was like, if I don't share my own story, my own journey, then why should I expect other people to do it? And so that's why I forced myself to do it. And I wouldn't say it was like the most empowering thing. Like I know people, I thought I would feel like, oh my God, I'm so empowered, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, no, I feel so self-conscious. I was like, this video sucks. Everything sucks. Like it was horrible. And then after a week, I just sort of like told myself, okay, time to get over it. Move on. It's fine. It's out there. You can't do anything anymore. And then I started getting like DMs that people really resonated with what I was saying, the narrative, what other people were saying, just about taking risks. Because most of the stories are not like, oh, I'm here now, I'm such a successful person. A lot of it is like, this is what I'm doing. I'm kind of figuring it out. I'm not really sure, but I'm still doing me, and I'm still happy in my little bubble of whatever it is. And that's what I think is more important, because it's about the journey at the end of the day. Your life is a full journey. It's not a end point. So I don't know. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
How does the journey of a typical Asian person differ from someone who, let's say, from the States or somewhere else? If you got that comparison.
I mean, I think also when we something I've noticed from my parents' friends, my friends who are parents, is that a lot of times as Asians, we like to coddle our children a lot.
Yeah.
We like to tell them, we like to always be there for them, which is a great thing as well.
Yeah.
Like we like to be there for them. We like to make sure that they are healthy, they're happy, blah, blah, blah. But then we also have a certain set of expectations of how they should live.
Yeah.
Because we are coddling them, because we're so like, we have like this hook onto them. Whereas I think in a lot of Western cultures, they teach them very early on to be super independent. Like just move out of the house. Like on 18, get out,
Get out
you
of the
know?
house, yeah.
And when you're 18 and you're out of the house, you're forced to kind of think about who you are at such a young age. Singapore, we don't have the option of getting out of the house at that age. So we're still in that bubble of what your parents would like. Even I was 23, still living with my parents. Coming home late, I'm still getting scolded.
So
like
you're still forced to be teenagers at
exactly,
adult,
and you're 23, and that's the age where you're supposed to kind of explore,
like in your prime, and
figure
you're like,
out
wow,
who you are, all of these things, but you don't
totally
get
get
to
you.
do all of that, those sorts of things. So I think that's the main difference, is like the way we were brought up. We were brought up to be very close knit, always like codependent on our parents. Like even you have the HDB scheme that you have to live close to your parents. You get this much off. Because why must you be so close to your parents all the time? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's great. You can always have help, but at the same time, you don't have the freedom to explore who you are, or in your own way, without being judged or scolded or whatever it is. So I think that's like one of the biggest differences.
One thing I noticed after moving out, like, I don't know what it is, but start noticing your parents getting old quickly.
Oh yeah.
And it's a very it's like a thing like looming over you. Oh shit, they're getting old. And then there's you feel more, I won't say obligated. It's not like you're being forced to. Like you feel the urge to be with them even more. So I actually like this scheme of having your parents close to you, because it really helps with whatever they need or whatever you need. Yeah, I'm more of a, I prefer having the parents close by.
No, I think that's a personality thing as well. Like some people do prefer, and it's not like, you do you, genuinely, like it's fine to also prefer that. But there's also personalities like mine where I need the freedom to explore who I am. And then I feel so trapped and like, I'm like, I feel extremely trapped if I'm near my not I love my parents, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
It's there, but like just constantly seeing them, constantly like that, I need some distance, some space. But it's again personality situation, and it's also again your life choices, right? Like
That's true.
it's what you choose for your life. If you need them to help you, it's also great. Like it's a blessing to also have them in your life.
Yeah, I miss my mom's cooking last week. Yeah.
I have a question to ask, but that will put you in trouble.
No, wife
Ask the
cooks.
question.
I actually know that my wife cooks well. But mom's cooking.
Say
Mom's
loudly.
cooking. Mom's mutton biryani. Oh.